Good morning. This is Judge Alyssa Perez presiding over the 210 District Court criminal docket for November 9th, 2021. All matters being heard today are being heard in accordance with all emergency orders and directives regarding COVID-19. In addition to that, we are streaming all matters live via YouTube for public viewing. Mr. Pantoja, would you call our first case, please?
Yes, Judge. Zelaya on page 2.
Go ahead.
It's cause number 2020-0D03679. State of Texas versus Victoria Alejandra Zelaya. Announcement of counsel, please.
Brian Herrera on behalf of the state, ready to proceed.
Good morning, Your Honor. Bill Hicks on behalf of Victoria Zelaya.
We are scheduled for a final hearing plea deadline. Mr. Herrera, what is the rec?
Your Honor, so this was going to be the defendant was to complete a drug class for a dismissal and then provide a couple of negative UAs. But I think last time we were here, Judge Hicks had lost contact with his client. I don't know if she was able to complete that or not.
Any good news, Judge?
Good news, not great news, but good news. We do have contact with the client. She has taken her first drug test. We don't have the results back yet, but we have contact, and she's taken a drug test and is hopefully diligently off working on her drug classes. So we're starting that path. She's homeless and fighting that situation, no job, homeless type situation. So she's in a tough spot right now.
What are we looking at in terms of the classes? How much time?
Well, it's 2 UAs 2 weeks apart. So should still need another 2 weeks from the last UA. So we're still looking at probably about a month until we have all of the UA. So I'd say if you could reset us for maybe 5 weeks out, 4 or 5 weeks out.
We'll do December 14th. We're going to set that for a dismissal hearing. All right. Chewy, did she check in this week?
She checked in this morning, Judge.
Okay, that's good. All righty. All right, thank you very much, Judge.
He's got one other matter, Judge. Henry on page 10.
Go ahead.
It's cause number 2020-0D01914. State of Texas versus Joshua Stefan Henry. Announcement of counsel, please.
Brian Herrera on behalf of the state, ready to proceed, Your Honor.
And of course, Mr. Bill Hicks on behalf of Mr. Josh Henry.
Okay, I have this down for the 1:30 docket. I'm not sure. Final hearing plea deadline as well.
Your Honor, if I may, the co-defendants got a plea at that time, so you wanted it set for them.
Oh,
And
okay.
This one is not a plea, so.
Okay. So is this one where we're waiting just on the plea of the co-defendant?
Not necessarily, Judge, because they are not, while they are co-defendants, they are, I guess, adversarial. So I have extended a new recommendation to Judge Hicks's client. He had provided the state with a mitigation packet and was requesting a dismissal, but the current rec is a lesser included deadly conduct, Class A misdemeanor.
Okay. Did you just get that today, Judge?
He had mentioned deadly conduct at the end of October, but I think that, well, I'll email Brian, Judge. I don't think that's going to do it for my client. I think we're going to have to go a little bit lower, but I'll email Brian.
Okay, so we're going to put you, we're not going to trial obviously on Friday. So we're going to put you on a new trial track. I hate to extend that far, but that'll be May 20th. If there's any, headway on some agreement, we'll have plenty of time to do it. All righty?
That's perfect, Judge. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Judge.
Thank you very much. Who's next, Chewy?
Hey, Judge Crawford, page 2.
Okay, go ahead.
Cause number 2020-0D05715. State of Texas versus Jared Ellen Crawford. Announcement of counsel, please.
Brian Herrera on behalf of the state, ready to proceed, Your Honor.
Robert Perez on behalf of Mr. Crawford. We're ready, Your Honor.
Is that why Mr. Serrano's here? Is this our DWI misdemeanor guy? Hi, Mr. Serrano.
I hope that's why Mr. Serrano's here.
I also have another one, Judge. I have
Oh,
Mr.
okay.
Alyssa.
Well, conveniently, you're here on Mr. Crawford is also your client on the misdemeanor, and I believe, okay, Sandy sending me that the misdemeanor was set yesterday. Did we resolve the misdemeanor? Because I thought that's what was holding up the felony.
No, Judge, we haven't resolved it yet.
Okay. So, what is it set for now in misdemeanor land?
Your Honor, I'm gonna set it for a plea, and
Mm.
hopefully this one can get resolved.
Okay, so Sandy, let's do, where is it set? Yeah, nothing set. Let's
CCR 3.
do a check on this one in December 7th. We'll do December 7th. I don't know if that's gonna give us enough time. Let's do December 14th. Mr. Serrano, I mean, I'm not sure what the holdup is. Obviously, you got to work that case as well, but we're just waiting on you all. So, Mr. Perez, are you asking for a trial setting?
No, Your Honor, we were accepting what the government was offering, but we couldn't do it unless the misdemeanor was taken care of.
Okay, we're gonna come back on December 14th. Let's see what's going on there.
I will
Alrighty.
notify yes, Judge. I will notify the court as soon as he please.
Okay, thank you very much. All
Thank you,
right,
Judge.
thank you, gentlemen.
Judge.
December 14th. Who's next, Chewy?
Okay, Judge, bottom of page 2, Gomez,
Go ahead.
cause number 2021-0D00262, State of Texas versus Angel Gomez. Announcement of council, please.
Alex Squad for the state. Ready, Your Honor? Good morning.
Good morning.
Did you say Angel Villalpando?
Gomez, but it's
Gomez.
yours, Mr. Ortiz, también.
Okay.
You have a couple
Angel
of these.
Villalpando Gomez, right? No?
It only reflects Angel Gomez on my docket.
Oh, okay.
So we are here in a final hearing plea deadline. What's the rec?
Yes, Judge. Rec at this time for Mr. Gomez was 15 months adult probation on the lesser Class A assault causing bodily injury.
Okay. Mr. Ortiz?
Dang it, Judge. I'm so sorry. So what is the rec on that again, Mr. Alex?
15 months probation, Ruben.
Is that the one? Is that the little kid one?
Yes, Judge, I think Ruben had asked for PTD, but to my understanding, I don't know if it's worked its way up. Ruben had said he may be going to some of our division chiefs.
I did. Yeah, I did. I sent out a letter, and I'm just waiting to hear a response
From
from
I'm
a
sorry.
chief, from a chief. I'm not. What chief did I send it to? Who's the chief there, Mr. Alex?
It's Ray. So I spoke with Ray Duke, Judge, and I know Ray had said that he was not offering PTD.
Right. I saw that hearing, and so I think Ray was here, or Mr. Duke was here last time, and I think I remember Mr. Duke saying that was his final offer, and I didn't know if you were going to either Mr. Cox or someone else.
I think that's what I did, Judge. Let me look at my emails real quick.
Is Mr. Cox by any chance? No.
Here it
he
is.
gonna
Angel
be-
Gomez.
He's going to be here this afternoon, Judge, for a couple of other matters.
Okay.
You know what? Let me reach out to him again, Judge. I have an you know what? I have an email. I never sent it. It's still in draft. God,
Let me try and
unbelievable.
expedite some things. Mr. Ortiz, can you be here, or are you already going to be here at 3 o'clock today?
Let me look. Pretty
Can we-
sure.
Can we set this at 3 o'clock? Send your email, and at least that way we can get Mr. Cox on board, whether he has a decision or not. At least we
Sure.
know that you've gotten in touch with him, because
Sure.
I think with holidays and stuff, it's going to be really tricky, and I don't want to just keep bringing you back,
Right,
week
right.
after week or whatever. So let's have
Yeah,
this
we
pushed
can pull
back
it
for
off.
3 o'clock.
Okay, Judge.
And Mr. Herrera or Mr. Cuellar, I'm sorry, if you'll just shoot Curtis an email that, this case, they're asking for a review on it.
Yes, Judge.
And if not, then we'll just go from there, Mr.
Little
Ortiz.
kid, yeah. Okay, Judge, I'll be here at 3.
Okay. Thank you so much. All right.
Would it be the same? Would it be the same Zoom ID, Judge?
Same, we're always the same.
Oh,
Sandy
okay.
has made it, so we're always the same Zoom.
Okay, sounds good.
Thanks, guys. All right,
Judge.
thank you, Mr. Cuellar.
Judge, I was gonna say Ruben also has Angel Villalpando too. I don't know if you want to take care of that one. I don't know if
On
hope I'm not
page 8,
jumping
Judge.
around.
Jade, okay. Go ahead.
Cause number 2021-0D00709, State of Texas versus Angel Villalpando. Announcement of council, please.
Alex Qued for the state. Ready, Your Honor?
Ruben Ortiz and Angel Villalpando. We're
And
also
this
ready.
is final judges. What are we doing on this one?
Yes, Judge. On this one, Your Honor, the lab report did come back. And it does show that it's, I think the lab report just came back on the 4th. So that's probably prior to our last hearing. Lab report confirmed 10, I believe 10 point something kilograms of cocaine. So I think at this point, we're just sticking with the rec, Judge.
You know, Judge, I can tell you that on this case, I have been requesting some evidence. I think what ties them, the link is a fingerprint, which is very unusual. And I need to get a hold of that fingerprint, and I need to get a hold of how that it was analyzed. There's no reports as to how that thing was analyzed. So
You filed a motion, Mr. Ortiz?
no, I've been requesting it, and I think Mr. Alex Cuellar, I mean, I can file one, Judge, but I've been informally discussing that issue with Mr. Cuellar.
Is this
You did,
one
Your
set
Honor.
for trial on December 10th?
Yes, ma'am.
Let's see.
So sounds like we need to have some formality here, which means a motion from defense and a hearing like really, really soon. Okay, so if you all, I mean, I wouldn't wait on that, Mr. Ortiz, because time is gonna be, running away from us here.
I have a motion right here, Judge. I'll go ahead and
If
I'll
you
go ahead and
file
file
it,
it. I guess
yeah,
I'll just
file
file it.
file it and email it to the court so we can get you a hearing date. Your client is not in custody, so it should be pretty easy to get you a time to come in person for any hearings unless you want to do it remotely, okay?
Remotely is fine for this.
Sounds good. Let's get
Thank
that
you.
going. Email the pleading, please. All righty, thank you very much.
Thank you, Judge.
Who's
Okay, thank
next,
you, Judge.
Chewy?
See you at
Thank you,
3.
Ruben.
See.
Bye,
Bye-bye.
everyone.
Mr. Ortiz, you have one other matter if you want to just stand by.
Ándale.
If we could
Oh,
take
yeah,
care of-
Eligio Moreno.
Who is that, Chewy?
It's Moreno on page 4, Judge.
Okay, let's do that.
Cause number 2020-0D03218, State of Texas versus Eligio Moreno. Announcement of council.
Brian Herrera for the state of Texas.
And Ruben Ortiz for Mr. Moreno.
Okay, this is a 2801 hearing. Any motions?
I don't believe so, Judge.
Okay, well, the deadline's today. Unless there's anything outstanding, then we'll see you all at the next setting.
But you know what, Judge? This is a case where I came in really late on this thing.
And that's why you gotta reset Mr. Ortiz for pre-trial motions just to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't believe there's any motions on this case.
When are we set for trial? When did you come into this one, Mr. Ortiz?
In October,
October, okay.
August. October. October was our
so-
last hearing, sorry.
Yeah, no, we're on track. I mean, we have our deadline, status conference, our jury trial is in March. So I think
Okay, we're good.
Okey doke. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Judge. May I be excused?
Yes, sir. Thanks.
And we'll see you at 3.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Bye.
Who's next, Chewy?
Hey, Judge Munoz, page 4.
Okay, go ahead.
Cause number 2020-0D05170, State of Texas versus Joshua Abraham Munoz. Announcement of council, please.
Brian
Sir,
Herrera.
repeat for the- oh,
Oh, sorry, Alexa.
I'm sorry, was that mine?
No, that is wrong Munoz on my part. I apologize.
No, you're fine. Lexa Ritchie for the state, Your Honor, ready to proceed.
Hello, Ms. Caballero. I thought I saw.
Can you hear me?
Now I can. Yeah, I thought I saw. it.
Okay. Well, for some reason it's on safe driving mode. I didn't even know such a thing existed. I don't know how to get out of it. I don't know how I got into it, but in any event, Joshua Munoz is my client. And I did speak to Ms. Rishi right before we got on for the Zoom hearing.
Mhm.
And Your Honor, this case needs to be massaged a little bit on the prosecution side. And she's new to the case, brand new to it. And the last time we had a hearing, and I was telling her that the state was going to reach out to the family of the complainant
Mhm.
and see where they stood at this juncture.
Okay, so Ms. Ritchie, let me ask you this. Obviously, we're set for trial this Friday. That is not happening. But we do have a backup trial date of February. Ms. Ritchie, what is the rec?
Your Honor, the current rec is 10 years TDC.
Okay.
I am amenable to further negotiation. Ms. Caballero and I are in the process of meeting to view some of the images as well.
Mhm.
And I think from there, we'll have a better standing point as to where to go on the recommendation.
Okay, all righty. So we have another final judges on January 20th. And then our final hearing plea deadline. I mean, again, time kind of gets shorter with all the holidays, so do what you can. I can tell you, we're still, kind of facing the logistical challenges of requesting jury panels and whatnot. So anticipate that there might be some change on the backup trial date. But I will keep you informed as best I can and try and get that squared away well ahead of time so that nobody is kind of in a bind in terms of getting witnesses if we need to go to trial, okay?
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thanks. And if anything comes up that requires a hearing, just let us know.
We will. Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Who's next, Shui?
Hey, Judge Ramirez, page 6.
Okay.
Cause number 2019-0D0-6019. Cause number 2019-0D0-6020. Cause number 2019-0D0-6626. And cause number 2020-0D0-1801. State of Texas versus Brandon Ramirez. Announcement of council, please.
Brian Herrera for the state of Texas, ready to proceed, Your Honor.
Good morning, Your Honor. Jeep Darnell for Brandon Ramirez. We're ready to proceed.
Okay, and final hearing plea deadlines. Have you all worked anything out?
No, Judge. Brian and I spoke yesterday on exactly how we're going to go forward. So I have been made multiple requests and sent HIPAA release to Emergence to get my client's file from Emergence. And they keep writing back saying there are no records, but he is actually being seen in the jail by Emergence right now, which is preposterous. So I need those because I think it's going to play a huge part. And in my conversation with Brian yesterday, he thought the same thing. Where I want to go and where I might get him is going to be dependent upon his mental health history because he's a young kid with all kinds of legal problems. So my plan was either to keep this Friday's date or to set another date for an in-person hearing where I can subpoena Emergence to bring his records. That was the only thing I could come up with.
So you need a hearing date. It won't be Friday, but what I can do is set, if you have, I don't know if there's something you could file that we could set for, give me a second, November 15th, Sandy, what's that day like again? Oh, is that the one where we just scheduled like 4 in-person things?
Yes.
Okay, no, that's not gonna work. What we could do is possibly do the 18th in the afternoon, like at 1:30. Oh, that day already sounds really bad. Give me a second. But let's look at that on the court calendar, Sandy.
That would work for me, Judge. I'm not sure that we would need to go in front of you for any reason. We just need, especially with that recent case out of the 8th Court from the 243rd, we just need a date where we can order somebody to come to, and they bring the records. So I've got them.
Is it something where, I mean, I know there's like jail EHN and then regular EHN. I don't know that it could be something as technical or, I'm not going to say semantics, but I mean, identifying a different entity, because it's hard for me to understand why EHN would be telling you they don't have any records. But in any event,
it's all returnable in place, and
right.
He should have records under both of those entities. So the fact somebody's just being lazy is what it amounts to.
Mhm. Hmm. And there's nothing about, for example, releases, nothing else is, oh, you said you had already gotten that taken care of, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so we'll give you that November 18th at 1:30. Yeah, let's see, we have our backup trial date in 2022.
Yes, ma'am.
Let's go ahead and go with that, and see where that gets us. If you're not asking for, or I'm sorry, did you say you were asking for in-person or remote?
I'm only asking for in person. I don't think we will go in front of the judge, but just in person for the purposes of meeting the person to give me the records.
Alrighty, so you have your date. We'll get you the setting.
Cool.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Your Honor. May I be excused?
Yes, sir. Who's next, Chewy?
Hey, Judge Scallion, page 7,
Okay, go ahead.
cause number 2021-020-0132, State of Texas versus Ryan Scallion. Announcement of council, please.
Brian Herrera for the state of Texas. Ready, Your Honor.
Daniel Lavillar for Ryan Scallion, Your Honor, and I was just told it was dismissed.
All right, I see an email at 9:41. So as soon as I get there, I'll sign off on it. I'm assuming that's a dismissal. Thank you, Mr.
Thank you, Your
Avalon.
Honor.
Thank
Appreciate
you,
it.
Mr.
Be safe.
Herrera.
Bye.
Who's next?
You did it.
Okay, Judge, Walking Eagle on page 8,
Mm-hmm.
cause number 2021-020-0202, State of Texas versus Jagger Glenn Walking Eagle. Announcement of council, please.
Brian Herrera for the state of Texas. Ready, Your Honor.
Good morning, Your Honor. Jose Montes for Jager Walking Eagle.
All right, final hearing plea deadline, Mr. Herrera.
Judge, so this one, I believe the last hearing, and I don't know if it was Mr. Montes or Mr. Mesa had indicated that, because we've got our April 29th jury trial date, backup jury trial date. So I don't know if they were going to formally approach with a motion to continue, but I think all the parties are in agreement that just because of the nature of the case and the scope of the records, the current jury trial date is not amenable.
Okay, so what I'm seeing here, Mr. Montes, is I guess there was a final, let me see, no, notices. Okay, we have a new trial track for April 29th. Unless I'm hearing differently from anyone, then we're just gonna go with that.
Your Honor, I think that's true.
Okay.
And I think it's always been a trial, so that's where we're at.
Okay, so I don't see any motions for continuance. Were there any? I don't see any, so I don't think, maybe there's more down.
Your Honor, I didn't file one when I received the new track.
Okay, that's
I
fine.
can if you'd like me to.
No, I'm good with it. I'm good with it. So let's just go with that April 29th date.
Yeah.
All righty. Anything requires a hearing, just let us know. File your pleading, send us a copy, and we'll get you something scheduled. Other than that, we'll stick with the dates. Who's next, Chewy? Thank you, Mr. Montes.
Thank you,
Yeah,
Mr.
be excused.
Yes, sir.
Okay, the Precious Walking Eagle, Judge, bottom of page 8,
Okay,
cause number 2021-020-0203, State of Texas versus Precious Walking Eagle. Announcement of council, please.
Brian Herrera for the state of Texas. Ready to proceed, Your Honor.
who's here? Mr. Lozano, are you there? Mr. Lozano, are you there? He's the only one, right, from CLM?
Yes, Judge, that's correct.
Okay, well, we can come back to this one. This one looks like it's the same trial track, same issues. Who's
Okay.
next, Chewy?
Zamora on page 9,
Go ahead.
cause number 2020-020-6486, State of Texas versus Ernesto Zamora. Announcement of council, please.
Alex Squed for the state. Ready, Your Honor?
Michael Blake for Mr. Zamora. We're ready, Your Honor.
So this is a status conference. It looks, I don't know, were you all working on some things because it doesn't have a trial setting?
Judge,
Yes,
I would,
Sorry.
Ms. Quayle, you go ahead and go.
Okay, Judge, I was just gonna say, I think Michael is fairly new to the case. I think it was Derek Kenyatta before.
Okay.
And then, Judge, on this case, it is a large amount of marijuana. This is one of those cases where the marijuana was tested, so that's a good thing.
Mhm.
But it was tested somewhat earlier on. So it was tested and it does have the positive results for the presentation of there being THC,
Mhm.
but it was tested prior to the concentration test being available. So
Mhm.
that's what the lab report indicates. So what we were going to ask is if we get a little bit more time, we've already requested that it be sent away again for testing now that they can do the concentration analysis.
Okay. Mr. Blake, any objection to, I mean, we're not set for trial, so we're just got to get you guys on a trial track of May 20th is what we have next, our soonest.
That timeline's fine with me, Judge.
Okay.
I did receive a different rec on this case late yesterday afternoon that I have not discussed with my client.
What's the rec?
6 TDC, Judge. It was 20. We came down to 6.
Okay. All right. So we'll start there. Basically, we're just getting you on a trial track. Thank you, Mr. Blake. Thank you, Mr. Cuellar. Again,
Have a
anything
nice day.
requires a hearing, please send us the pleading and we'll get you scheduled.
Yes, Your Honor. May I be excused, Judge?
Yes, sir.
All right,
Thank you
thank
very
you,
much.
everyone. Take
Who's
care.
Have a nice
next?
day.
You too. Take care. Who's next, Sri?
Okay, Judge Watts, page 9.
Okay. Give me 1 second. All righty, go ahead.
Cause number 2020-0D05680. Cause number 2019-0D05927. Cause number 2021-0D02736. State of Texas versus Jose Abraham Watts. Announcement, council, please.
Brian Herrera for the state of Texas, ready, Your Honor.
Good morning, Your Honor. Kendall Valle on behalf of Mr. Watts. We're ready.
Okay, and so we have this down for judges' conferences, review hearings. These are all, okay, defendant to acquire part up here. There is only one, I'm seeing the 5927, am I correct, does not have a PR component? And Mr. Watts is here.
Your Honor,
The 20 case do not have peer components, ma'am, only the 21.
Okay. Give me 1 second. Okay, okay, so we're here for a review hearing. Mr. Herrera, can you give me dates of offense for each of these cases and will you identify the case, please?
Yes, Your Honor. So for the 2019 5927, it's offense date of September 9th, 2019. And then for the 2020 5680, both counts, there's a offense date of 9/26/2020. And then the 2021 2736 is an offense date of June 20th, 2021. So it's one for each year.
Is it the same complainant in each case?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, the state's not looking to increase bonds on this gentleman?
Judge, we have not filed, the state has not filed any motions as of yet on these cases.
Okay, so while the cases are outstanding, we have, starting in 2019, yearly allegations of assaults on the same complainant, and that doesn't concern the state?
No, it
Hold
obviously,
on, Mr. Dabaya.
yes, Your Honor, absolutely. I just at this point have not gone around to filing the motion to increase.
Do you
the
have
bond.
any contact with your complainant?
Judge, so once we had the last hearing, we reached out. I had my victim advocate reach out to the complaining witness, and we were just able to leave a voicemail up until this point. Now, I don't know that we've heard back from the complainant since then, but we reached out to the complainant last week.
Okay. Sandy, I'm not seeing, give me a second. I guess back me up on this. I don't know if I received a PR report for today. Let me double check. And I'll be right with you, Mr. Del Valle. I'm not ignoring you.
Let me
Just-
forward it to you, Judge, because the only connotation I remember seeing was that he was compliant. Like I said, the 21 case is the only one that does have a peer component. Let me forward it to you then.
Okay, you know what? I think I have it here. Let me see. Watts, there it is. There's a co-defendant? Is there a co-defendant?
Not that I can tell, Your Honor.
It says-
No, Your Honor.
Okay, it's reflected in the summary from PR that there's to be no contact with the co-defendant, so I'm not sure. So what is the Gregory Jarvis address? Is that the complainants? Did they share a residence, or is that any? No?
Let me, I show a different, actually, this is for the 29 case.
And I guess my next question is going to be, is there a protective order active?
So Judge, there is not. Now, we reached out to the complainant last week and left a message to call us back so that we could provide more information. But that is the same address that I show for the victim. The Jarvis, the Gregory Jarvis.
Will you now check on the protective order to see if there was a protective order? I would imagine maybe not the 2019 incident, but the 2020 and now the June incident, if there is an active protective order in either case.
Yes, Your Honor.
I got to think if there was in the previous one, we'd have a different charge. All right, so while you do that, Mr. Del Valle, I am just checking on the PR conditions. I know, and for your client's benefit, I mean, I understand these are just allegations, but we have three basically assaultive domestic violence types allegations leading up to the one of June of this year. So that brought me serious concern, not for the safety of the victim or the complainant, and prompted me to review the conditions. Was there anything? Okay, there was a protective order in 2017 and a violation in 2018. So if you'll just see if anything resulted, I'm very surprised that there wouldn't have been a protective order issued out of the June incident. Mr. Del Valle, I'm sorry, I don't mean to cut you off, but were you going to say something?
All right. Yes, Your Honor.
Mm-hmm.
Let me take you back to the 2019 case.
Mm-hmm.
In that matter, the complaining victim appeared before the jail magistrate on a motion to vacate the protective order.
Mm-hmm.
When questioned directly by the male jail magistrate, the alleged victim stated that she had no memory of what had occurred in connection with the 2019 5927 case.
Mm-hmm.
So the state has agreed down the line to dismiss that matter. On the 2020 case, 2020-5680, there was no protective order. The alleged victim in that case has also filed a petition, an affidavit of non-prosecution. Let me take you to the 2021 case. This matter was initially charged as a misdemeanor, and it ended up in your court as a felony. It is the same victim. They are not living together. They do not reside together. That's part of the PR bond condition. The victim, Amy Watts, called me last week and told me that she received a phone call from the victim's assistance folks in the courthouse and that she doesn't want to talk to them. She's standing by and will come online if the court wants to interview her. She's not looking for any kind of further bond. The couple are seeing each other. They have worked together sometimes. My client owns a motorcycle shop where the Amy Watts works at. So they're together almost every day. What happens here is that there are disputes, and Miss Watts has the habit of picking up the phone and calling the police anytime there's the slightest dispute between the parties. Alcohol is often involved. It is my understanding, and she has told me, that she will also be filing a affidavit of non-prosecution on the 2021 case. This is they're not living together because of the PR conditions. Otherwise, they would be residing together. And that's where this case stands. We understand the court concern about, 3 years, 3 complaints. But I'm just trying to explain to the court the nature of what's going on. Now, the way we left it the last time we were here, what is now the 2021 case was still a P file. And so I filed a motion for an examining trial to get it into a courthouse, into a courtroom. And we are here on that. And we were going to start discussing a universal agreement, perhaps to deal with all these things. And the last offer was, if I recall, 2 years probation on the 2021 case and the 2020 case, and the 2019 case would be dismissed. I'm sure that if these matters went to trial, I would prevail.
So what are the bonds? I do see, and you're correct, on the 2021 case, I guess I'm looking at the PR bond order from the jail magistrate, and it was basically a misdemeanor assault family violence. It had a $50,000 split bond, and it became a felony because I'm assuming your client has a previous conviction, which is the charge here. What are the bonds in the 2019 and 2020 cases? Because I believe they're straight surety, right?
I'm not sure, Your Honor. I can't answer that at this point.
Can someone tell me, Marissa, if you're there? You're usually the fastest on the bond.
The 2019 case, Your Honor, is a 10,000 surety posted by Affordable Bail Bonds, and the 2020 case has a surety also. It's 25,000.
Just straight 25,000, huh?
Yes, Your Honor. And then the 2021 is the only one with the PR component.
Okay. So, Mr. Del Valle, did you say that Miss Watts was, is she in the waiting room, or where is she?
No, I don't know if she's in the waiting room or not. But I told her to be standing by in case I called her, and she has the Zoom number.
Okay. If you could ask her if she's available to log in, please.
Sure, I sure will. Bear with me, Your Honor.
And Your Honor, just to confirm, there was no protective order for the 2020 case. It was not set in place until this most recent 2021 case.
Is that her with Mr. Watts? I see a female right behind Mr. Watts. Mr. Watts, can you unmute, please?
Yes.
Is that Miss, what's her first name? Amelia?
Amelia, Your Honor.
Is that her?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. The order on the PR bond is that you are not to be within 100 feet of a residence, and you are to have no contact with the complaining witness. And I am visually seeing that. So your PR bond is now going to be revoked, Mr. Watts.
We're at the shop.
I don't care. Your PR conditions say no contact.
Well, it's because they told us the court.
Nope.
She wouldn't have been around if it was the court.
Mr. Watts, you probably will need to speak with your attorney. Mr. Del Valle, the PR conditions are very clear. No contact.
Your Honor, if I may.
Yes, sir.
I was advised that the PR conditions were that they were not to reside together.
I am seeing the JMAG order that was signed by your client, and it says no contact with the complaining witness, Amelia Watts, no contact with co-defendants, may not go within 100 feet of a residence. My concern is Ms. Watts. And so I am going to pull his PR bond right now. Sandy?
And
Mhm.
Your Honor, would the court ask Ms. Watts if she wishes to proceed with the prosecution?
I know that irrespective of what Ms. Watts would like to do in terms of filing a non-pros, speak or not speak to the prosecution, the order that pertains to Mr. Watts is that he have no contact with the complaining witness.
What if she had contact with him at his shop?
It does not matter. The order pertains to your client's conduct. It brought me concern when you said that they were working together because I'm looking at a PR bond order that says he's not to have any contact with her.
Well, you're correct, Your Honor. And Mr. Watts explained to me that and Ms. Watts also explained to me that their understanding was that they were not to reside together, but that they
So,
could have contact.
Let me stop you right now. There's no their understanding.
I agree.
Mr. Watts is under order by the court not to have any contact with Emilia Watts. So I am pulling that PR bond immediately.
And what will the court do instead of the PR bond?
I will issue a higher bond with a PR component. Sandy, I need the notice of violation.
Already ordered, ma'am.
Perfect. If you'd like, Mr. Del Valle, I don't have any problem putting you in a breakout room with Mr. Watts. In fact, Sandy or Mr. Panto, whoever can do it more easily. Mr. Del Valle, if you have access to your email, please, I'm going to ask that you all email to Mr. Del Valle the PR bond order so that is not unclear and so that if there is any confusion, you can review it with your client. I am looking at it right here. It'll take me forever to email it to you because my system is so slow.
I agree, Your Honor. So how do we handle this? Does he turn himself in?
The capias will be processed today. They're emailing it to me right now so we can get that going. And then he'll have to turn himself in.
And he will then post the PR, the new component and get out?
Yes, sir. And I'm telling you right now, Mr. Watts, better not be any new allegation between now and the time that you turn yourself in. You understand me? I'm sure your attorney will explain it to you better. Did he leave? Or did he go into a breakout room?
I went into the breakout. I opened the breakout room, Judge.
Mr. Del Valle, we'll get you a copy of the PR bond order, but if you'd like to go into the breakout room, you may. For my purposes, in terms of this matter, we are adjourned unless you need to come back and tell me something, Mr. Del Valle. We'll get back on the record.
No, thank you, Your Honor.
Okay, thank you very much. All right. Who's next?
Okay, Judge Nevares on page 4.
Go ahead.
2021-0D0-0831, 2021-0D0-2003, 2021-0D0-2017, 2021-0D0-2206, State of Texas versus Daniel Nevares. Announcement of council, please.
Brian Herrera for the state of Texas. Ready, Your Honor.
Greg Anderson from Mr. Nevada is ready to proceed, Your Honor.
Good morning. Mr. Nevares has been in custody for a little bit of time, Mr. Anderson, but these are all set for status conferences. Let me make sure I have your client pulled up on Odyssey. Where are we on these cases?
Your Honor, so Mr. Anderson was in, yeah.
It appears that Mr. Nevares is being offered 6 years penitentiary time on 2 cases, and the other 2 will be dismissed. Having talked to my client, unless he completely does a complete about face, I do believe we've got an agreement.
Yeah, I'm sorry, I was having a little trouble. Did you say that's an agreement? Probably. Is that right, Mr. Anderson?
Well, Judge, the client has not signed the plea paperwork yet.
Okay.
We don't have the plea paperwork, and until that's 100% sealed, I don't want to give you 100% assurances. My client has told me straight to my face that he would accept 6 TDC.
Okay.
And therefore, I anticipate he will sign the paperwork once I put it in front of him.
Okay, so it looks like we have a final hearing plea deadline November 30th. Is that right? Yes, thank you, Sandy. So we've got a window, Mr. Anderson. If that happens and everything is great and we get your plea paperwork back, we'll set you for a plea.
Just waiting for the paperwork, Your Honor.
Okay.
Brian, please, Brian, I don't think you've sent that to me yet. Maybe I'm
No.
mistaken.
No, Judge, I have not. So I will work on getting that, Mr. Anderson, that plea.
Gentlemen, thank you so much. You were one of our trials for early December. So we do have a panel, Mr. Anderson, just letting you know, but it sounds like you all have it taken care of. Let's keep our fingers crossed, nothing messes up. All right. We'll
Okay.
see you on the 30th, if not sooner.
Thank you,
Who's
Judge.
next, Chuy? Thank you.
Okay, Judge Carrion, page 1.
Okay, go ahead.
Cause number 2020-0D05874. Cause number 2020-0D04810. And cause number 2020-0D05830. State of Texas versus Julian Carrion. Announcement, council, please.
Brian Herrera for the state of Texas, ready, Your Honor.
And Rafael Morales on behalf of Mr. Carrion, Judge.
Okay, I have a notation here. It's a status, but we're checking on plea docs, waiver not submitted into case as of 11/4.
Judge, if we can, we'd still like about a month on this one. We've got some contractual issues on our end that we'd like to get worked out before we proceeded with the plea, if possible, Judge.
Okay, so I'll give you an interim setting because we will not be coming back until 2022. We're going to do this on December 7th.
I'm sorry, Judge, it threw me off Pearl Harbor Day. I don't know why that just immediately popped in my head, but yes, that works great, Judge.
And just as a reminder, Mr. Morales, this is kind of a general reminder. If you file anything regarding any of your cases and you require some action from the court, you need to email us your pleading with any requests, okay?
Got you, Judge. That came up on one of our, Mr. Cortez, that did come up.
That's right.
Thank
All
you.
righty. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Judge.
Go on the 7th.
Morales.
Waivers not submitted.
We're gonna get them in and take care of all that. I know I can sign for him, but there are some issues I don't.
That's
quite-
fine.
We'll sign it for him. Thank
All
you,
right.
guys.
All right, thank you very much. Who's next?
Okay, Judge Lozano on page 9.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay, it's cause number 2020-0D04283. State of Texas versus Christopher Jesus Lozano. Announcement to council, please.
Brian Herrera for the state of Texas, ready, Your Honor.
Who's here?
That should be Miss Martin.
Let's see. Let me go to probations.
Mr. Pantoja, can I have the case number one more time? I'm sorry.
Yes, ma'am. That was 2020-4283.
Thank you. I apologize.
Am I missing any, Carla? Hold on, let me see. I see Cigales, Ruben Ramirez, Duarte. There he is. Okay.
You found it?
I found it. Arrested on a KPS. Okay. So the summary is he's on probation, 4 years deferred for burglary, building. Then he's rearrested on September 9th for assault, family violence. On the 13th, file motion to adjudicate, and then he's picked up on the motion to adjudicate. Is that what that is, Carla? Okay.
Yes, Your Honor.
So no other issues. Oh, he was just barely placed on probation. What's his history? What's his criminal history, Herrera?
Yes, Your Honor. One moment. Pulling him up. Judge, so for Mr. Lozano, as far as local history, This was his first felony, was the one he just pled for deferred. There is a criminal mischief, Class A misdemeanor out of Houston, Texas, from offense date February 2nd, 2019. He completed juvenile probation. There's an assault causes bodily injury to a family member, Class A misdemeanor.
What's the date of offense on that?
On that one is April 23rd, 2019. Also, that is a local juvenile case, Your Honor, to which he received juvenile probation. And then
I'm good with what we have right now. So we're basically, Ms. Martin,
that's all.
anything for the court?
Yes, Your Honor, I have been in contact. The complaining witness keeps calling our office. I have referred her to the district attorney's office. She did provide us with a non-pros on the assault family violence. I have been in contact with both my client and his father, who resides in Houston. My client has indicated that he would like to have his probation transferred to Houston and completed in Houston, Texas, and live with his father. He's a very, very young man, Your Honor. And he feels that Houston is perhaps a better place for him to reside, since his mother, who is a complaining witness, lives here in El Paso, and there are issues between them, and he feels that he would do better in Houston. I don't know if Ms. Pineda is able to do that. I know that within the state, it's easier to transfer probations. And I would also.
What's he gonna do? What does he have in terms of a living arrangement while if he were to go over to Houston, how is he gonna manage here?
He would not, my understanding is he has no place to manage here, that he would just immediately go back to Houston and be with his father. I have been in contact with his father. As a matter of fact, he called yesterday. He would be willing to, of course, transport his son to Houston, and he understands that his son, Mr. Lozano, would have to come back for any court hearings. And that's where we are with Mr. Lozano and what his, his plans are if he were to be released. He would like to go and reside in Houston with his father.
So, Ms. Pineda, time-wise, what are we looking at if he were to, if he wanted to go to Houston? What type of turnaround time?
He would have to obviously meet with his probation officer right now, so that first of all, we can do some kind of intake appointment. There was an intake appointment late September, but he would also have to provide the officer with details as far as where he's going to reside, all those details, so that the probation officer can work on the transfer and the modifications. We can transfer him, although he has a pending misdemeanor, and since you did advise him, Ms. Martin, that he would have to be, if he needed traveling to attend those misdemeanor hearings for that pending charge. But it's just a matter of how quickly he can meet with his officer, get him the requirements, paperwork that the probation officer needs, so that we can initiate the transfer.
Did you have
He is in jail. How would we go about getting that done?
Your Honor, if I may, so the examining trial is set for tomorrow on the two felonies, on the 2838 and 4285, and then we are requesting the pending misdemeanors, evading and criminal mischief.
Okay, so what are the two felonies?
They're pulling it now, Your Honor. It's a new assault, a new AFV, Your Honor.
Is that the one for which he was arrested on September 9th, or is that a different one?
That is the September 9th
And
AFV, Your Honor.
you said there's two felonies?
Yes, one moment. Sorry, I had two separate cause numbers. Unlawful carrying
Mm.
Oh, you know what, Your Honor? I'm sorry. I apologize. This is a different defendant, so it's just
Attorney Lozano? Okay.
it's just
Yeah.
a
All right. So we just have our one. Okay. And Ms. Martin, you were saying what?
That I show over here on our end is this case that he's on probation for and a misdemeanor AFV. Is
Yeah,
that
so
correct,
it's
Mr. Herrera?
just a 3 misdemeanors, Your Honor. I apologize.
The 3 misdemeanors?
Yeah, evading, criminal mischief, and the AFV. So there's a offense
Okay.
date of 11/6/2020, 11/8/2020 on the criminal mischief, and then 9/9/2021 on the AFV.
Okay, so new ones.
Okay.
I guess we have just the AFA.
Yeah.
Okay.
Your Honor, if I may, we don't have any appointments on the evading or the criminal mischief. So I'll look into that because we just have the AFB, Your Honor.
Okay, all right. So the recommendation from probation is to screen him for the domestic violence caseload. I'm a little concerned. I don't know, are there is there an outstanding UCW? Is that what it is? An awful carrying?
No, Judge, that was a separate.
A separate defendant. Okay, okay. So, I mean, he's been in, probably close, a little over 20 days. My thought was to get him squared away. I'm a little concerned about if he has a place to stay, things of that nature. I don't know if probation can help him with that. What I will need, I don't have a problem for our purposes. If you all have the AAV, screening him, following the recommendation, screening him for the domestic violence caseload, and going from there. However, yeah, no, I'm just good with that. I'm good with that. So we can go ahead and get him out of jail. Yes, Ms. Martin.
Your Honor, he would be going to Houston. Would I give all that information to Mrs. Pineda so she can contact his father?
So he's not going to be able to leave until he meets with his probation officer. And if at that point he wants to request permission to go to Houston with all of those great details so we don't lose track of him, I don't have a problem with it. Okay. But he can't just get out of jail and I to watch a buy go to Houston. That's not going to happen. I know it's complicated, but I mean, that's why I'm asking. I mean, I don't know is he someone, I'm not sure of all the details about getting him like housing at the Inspira Hotel, things like that. I'm happy to work with that. I don't know if we can, or if there's some criteria that he has to qualify for. No, he can't just up and leave. He can't just up and leave.
Okay, I will look into see where we can find a place for him to stay in El Paso. Because he was living with the mother and she's a complaining witness, and that really isn't.
That's problematic, right? Yeah. Is there a way, for example, well, no. I mean, you don't want him just sitting in jail because he doesn't have anywhere to go. Monday.
If I may, and Ms. Martin, what he can do is upon getting released, he can contact probation immediately. We can do a travel permit, let him provide the necessary information, get the travel permit, and if his father's going to pick him up, or I don't recall the exact traveling arrangements they had, but we can go that route too. It'll be a little quicker. Within Texas, there's really not a major holdback or setback to it. It's usually a green light, especially because it's within Texas. It's just we do need paperwork, and I know there's signatures required and all that. That's my only concern.
So is that something you could expedite, Ms. Martin, in terms of getting all those details from your client to convey to probation? And if you can get that squared away, that might make things run a little more smoothly, a little more workable for your client.
Yes, Your Honor, I will.
Okay, alrighty. Then if you can do that, then I'm good with, we just modify him for the domestic violence caseload.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Alrighty, thank you very much.
And
Who's
Judge,
next?
I'll get a dismissal for the MTAG once we get so we can get the modifications squared away.
Okay.
And you will let me know when all that other stuff is filed, correct?
Yeah, we just requested it again, Julia. I apologize. I was confusing him with Mr. Ramirez. So, but there's just the 3 misdemeanors.
Okay.
So, yeah.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, ma'am.
Judge, just really quick, I'm sorry. Just to have him actually be placed on the domestic violence, he has to be screened. But we also need to know what the disposition will be on the pending assault. In order to be in the domestic violence caseload, he's going to have to get screened to see if he qualifies. And being that he's possibly going to not live with his mother, who is a complaining witness, I'm not sure if he'll actually qualify for placement.
Okay, but the order is not that he be placed, it's just that he be screened. We could add to his conditions that he have no offensive contact with mom.
Correct.
I mean, for my purposes, that's all I'm going to require happen in terms of modification. I mean, if he doesn't qualify, he doesn't qualify. Simple as that.
Okay, thank you, Your Honor.
Okay. Okay.
Thank you, Your Honor.
All righty. Who's next, Shui?
Okay, Judge Ramirez, page 9.
Okay, go ahead.
Cause number 2020-020-2838. Cause number 2020-020-4285. State of Texas versus Ruben David Ramirez. Announcement of council, please.
Brian Herrera for the state of Texas, ready, Your Honor.
Good morning, Brent Stevens for Mr. Ramirez.
Good morning. Let's see. This is one who was placed on probation August 3rd, failed to report in September, rearrested for possession and unlawful carrying, released on a surety bond on 10/7. Then we get our bench warrants. And then on the 7th, and then on the 12th, he's rearrested for unauthorized use of a vehicle and is in custody. Not a very good track record there. What are we doing, Mr. Stevens?
And Judge, just so you know, those are the 2 felonies. The 2838 and the 4285 are set for examining trials tomorrow.
Okay. So it looks like we're probably waiting on some new cases, Mr. Stevens. Is that right?
A couple of new state jail felonies.
Okay. How quickly are we going to get those, Mr. Herrera?
So seeing how it's set tomorrow, Judge, it should not be, I don't anticipate it being longer than a week or 2.
Okay. So let's come back on November 30th, Mr. Stevens. And I'm sure you all will be in discussions. Maybe we have some clarity on November 30th.
Could Brian, do you have an idea what you want to do with the case? Or is there a recommendation from the probation department if
So the recommendation from probation is to adjudicate to straight and modify to the gang unit. He's been screened and qualifies. I don't know if I'm there, Mr. Stevens, but I'm sure you'll have plenty to tell me about your client if you think that's a realistic solution.
Okay, I'll work on it and then we'll be back on the 30th.
Sounds good. See you then.
I'll reach out to you, Brent. Well, hopefully we get those filed.
Gracias.
Okay. Yes. Thank you very much.
Thanks, guys. Who's next, Cherie?
Okay, Judge, let me see if Mr. Lozano is available. Okay, Judge, we could go back to,
Walking Eagle.
yes, ma'am, page 8.
Go ahead.
Cause number 2021-020-0203. State of Texas versus Precious Walking Eagle. Announcement of council, please.
Brian Herrera for the state of Texas, ready, Your Honor.
Cesar Lozano on behalf of Ms. Walking Eagle, ready to proceed, Your Honor.
Okay, Mr. Lozano, we were just, I think you all have your April 29th date and all settings leading up to then. I know your client checked in yesterday too, so thank you for that. Unless you all need anything from us, then we're good to go with our new trial track. Are you, everything good on your end?
Yeah, Judge, I think the only thing that you may anticipate is maybe some filing for maybe funds on an expert and things like that. But other than that, I think we're just waiting for April.
Okay, sounds good. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Who's next, Cherie?
Okay, Judge, of the matters that need to go before you